name is Fredrik Forsman. Today we're going to follow the Swedish Sea Rescue Society hovercraft and see how they perform in Arctic conditions. Driving a hovercraft is something completely different from driving a boat, as you see. Just recently we passed over small rocks that was visible above the ice, and that's definitely not something you do with a normal boat. So what's the difference in the mindset when it comes to navigating a hovercraft compared to a boat?
Yeah, when you drive a hovercraft you have to look what's on the surface. The hovercraft lifts about 30 centimeters, so you can drive over small obstacles, but with a boat then you have to know what's under the surface.
Is it easy to get into that mindset, or does people have problem understanding that you're actually flying, but flying very low?
No, I think it's easier to drive a hovercraft in the mindset.
Yeah.
It's going back to driving the boat. Then you have to know, you have to look underneath the water.
Yeah, of course. And then during the day I've seen that we are rarely pointing in the direction we are going. You are pretty much going sideways all the time. So navigating seems a bit different from boating, where you're always pointing at where you're going. What are you thinking about? What are your when you're navigating? What are you afraid of, and what are you want to achieve, so to speak, in the navigating?
When you're navigating, you have to have a lot. You have to look forward a lot more than in a boat. You have to know how the hovercraft will react when you're turning. The turns are a lot bigger in a hovercraft than they are in a boat.
Yeah. So it's like pre-planning. You have do I interpret you correctly? That you have to think more ahead.
Yeah, to pre-plan. Yeah. Think ahead a lot more than not a lot more, but you have to think how to say?
Longer in advance.
Yeah, longer in advance, but in a different way than in a boat.
How? Tell me more about that. In what way?
The turns are a bit different. You have to possibly make bigger turns, and you have to calculate the wind.
Yeah.
If you got side wind, the wind will they will push the hovercraft sideways.
Yeah.
But they don't push a boat
in the same manner.
Yeah, exactly.
Erik, may I ask you, you are employed at the SSRS as a trainer for hovercraft pilots, and if you look at that training compared to boat training, what are your reflections?
Well, we are training much to handle the hovercraft on a safe way, because the wind and things on the ice can make it more difficult than in a boat.
Yeah, I know that safety is of great concern, and what behaviors and what attitudes are you want to teach them? What is safe handling of the hovercraft?
Yeah, it's safe. How fast we go?
Yeah.
We say that's 30 knots. That is enough, because we must have time to stop if something happens.
That's also different, because in a normal boat, if you cut back on the throttle, you will stop almost immediately. But as you said earlier, if you just if you cut the propulsing engine, you will. If you have the wind with you, you won't stop at all. So
you can continue along.
Yeah.
Yes.
The friction is almost zero.
Yes.
So then I've understood there is issue with the visibility, and that affects the speed as well, especially in darkness, doesn't it?
Yes.
What are the risks? What are you aware of? What are you not want to hit?
If you're coming on ice, there can come open water,
Yeah.
and that will make the hovercraft stop.
Yeah.
And you also can have things on the ice that's coming up, so you must drive safe.
So the lower visibility, the slower you have to drive.
Yes, it's very
And
important.
how do you stop, and how do you go to a reverse, so to speak? What's the technique?
Well, the hovercraft, it doesn't have any brakes, so you have to turn the whole hovercraft 180 degrees.
Yeah.
So you're, how to say, you're reversing almost. You turn it 180 degrees, and then you increase the throttle.
Yeah.
And then you will come to a stop.
So if my ugly little hat here is the hovercraft, you're actually going like this, and then you're turning the hovercraft 180 around,
Exactly.
and going backwards, and then you hit the throttle, and that will break.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a look at the two engines we have on board, because it's pretty cool. We're having two here, and we have the how do you say, the engine that will propel us forward, and that's the big fan over here, and you can see we're the big propeller in there, and the guys are steering with those, almost like an airplane back here. And in the front, if you come over here, it's the lifting engine, and there is a fan blowing air down. Ah, excellent. That's pedagogic. Thank you. So there we have an engine that builds up air pressure underneath and fills the skirts, so we lift from the ice, and then some of the air is slipping out underneath these skirts and lubricate the hovercraft, diminish the friction. So it's a pretty cool and different vessel, so to say, especially compared with boats, and as far as I understand it, takes pretty much skill and a very different seamanship or hovercraftmanship to drive it. I forgot to say that Robin isn't always looking as this with those pretty funny glass eyes, but this is because Robin and Erik is helping us with some research and doing some eye tracking on board the hovercraft, so that's why he's looking like this.